Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Draytech's Vigor 3912 End User Overview, one of our latest products for 2024. Today's meet the team today. I'm Shane, your host, a proposition manager, and we're going to be joined by our presenter, Lucas, our product specialist, and followed by the Q&A session towards the end of today's webinar by Alex, Head of Product.
As you may have noticed, it is replacing the 3910, and it comes with great performance. It's 12 gig performance for the NAT firewall throughput. And we also see many other improvements, new features, which I'll cover shortly. Just briefly, it comes also with the great number of interfaces, faster VPN connections, including SSL and faster WireGuard. So there are some key features I would like to quickly cover for new and existing Draytech users. First of all, I will cover the number of interfaces and its usage. Then I will talk about new security features that we haven't seen before, the VPN, and the server load balancing feature. So the flexible WAN and LAN ports. This router, similar to the 3910, comes with 8 configurable WAN or LAN ports, including 10 gigabit SFP+, 2.5 gigabit Ethernet interfaces, 1 gigabit Ethernet, and so on. So you can see that you can actually connect so many WAN interfaces, WAN connections, or there is a switch option here. So it's a switchable module for most of the WAN interfaces. So in fact, you can have just one internet connection and turn the remaining interfaces into the LAN mode. The second set of features I would like to cover is the security. We will see the VPN from LAN and VPN isolation that's going to help with the local traffic data encryption. So the VPN from LAN allows VPN remote, in quotation, dialing users to connect from LAN. So if you have a look on the diagram on the left-hand side, there is a setup where there are 3 LAN networks. LAN 2 is for staff that should or should not have access to the critical data that is located on our LAN 1. So we may have some servers, some customers' details and stuff, and some members of staff should have access to that, others probably not. So what we can do on top of the VLAN isolation, where we have 2 subnets or more, we can actually specify which particular user can access those details. So access the servers. So we would use the VPN. So it's not only the access that we can monitor, it's also encrypted. So any data that some members of staff are pulling from the servers, from LAN 1 in this case, is going to be encrypted. And obviously LAN 3 on the right-hand side, it's unlikely that we will provide critical data to our guests. But that can be done as well. And the second feature under this category I would like to cover is the VPN user isolation. On this occasion, our VPN users, remote dialing users, are actually connecting over the internet. They are not local anymore. And they make, like some of us may work from home or hotels or other branches, and etc. And in many occasions, they shouldn't really be able to talk to each other. So now we've got that isolate VPN users from each other option. So with just a single click, you can see the section on the right-hand side. We can just basically stop traffic between the VPN users. Another key feature I would like to cover is we actually have seen that as well on the 3910 routers. This router is actually a VPN hub. it can handle up to 500 concurrent VPN tunnels. So imagine that. You may or may not have 500 branches, but you can mix it up. So let's say you have like, I don't know, 50 branches and 400 remote VPN users. So all that can be actually connected to this particular router, and then whenever they need to actually pull some data from the head office, then they can basically communicate on over the VPN. Now, on the right-hand side, you can see some additional features like the VPN load balancing and failover, etc., etc. All that is supported by the our flagship Vigor 3912 series. What's worth mentioning as well, this router has got improved VPN throughput as well for the encrypted protocols. So you'll be happy to see that the easy to configure Draytech SSL VPN can actually get better performance, and you can use the smart VPN client for that. So that particular client is available for all the major platforms, including Windows, Mac OS, iPhones, Android devices. And yet another feature that our users may have seen on all the platform, Vigor 3900s, server load balance. On the diagram we are looking at the screen, you can see the diagram where server load balance feature supports multiple servers on our LAN. So let's imagine we have, I don't know, 1,000 users that can connect to our web server. So locally, the web server is handling 1,000, and because of its hardware limitation, we probably need to add yet another server to handle additional users. It is possible to use some load balancers, but instead of that, you can just use the Draytech router. So you've got everything in one box. Obviously, you got to add additional servers on the LAN, and the router can handle the load balancing for you, because hopefully all the businesses are growing and we may have yet another 1,000 users trying to access our web servers. So the load balancing will be managed by the router, and it will be based on number of sessions or IP addresses. So there are two modes supported. So let's say there is some encryption and we would like the user to come back to the same particular same hardware, same server, then that option is there. Or if we just don't care, they can access any server at any time, then the second mode can be used. So let's see at the what the graphic interface is like. For most of the Draytech users, you're gonna be familiar with the interface. It's slightly polished, improved interface. However, the features, the access to the menu and stuff is there. No additional license is needed to use that. You can just log into the router locally or remotely, out of the box. And even with the firmware upgrades that are provided free of charge, you can basically configure every single feature that is available there. Obviously, there is a web content filtering that is also available on this particular model, where a third-party provider license is required. Other than that, you can just use the web interface. Speaking of the management, you might be interested in our Vigor ACS platform that is used for management. So if you have a router or routers, access points and switches, you can use that as well. Now, what's the best application for the 3912 series? So fiber to the premises, the new type of broadband that we see almost everywhere these days, and it can be used, the router can be used for even ISPs tier 2 and 3. The 10 gigabit WAN interfaces that can be set to WAN or LAN mode allows the traffic that would be sufficient for most offices these days It also comes with the layer 2 security, such as the PPPoE server and VLANs. So let's say we want to distribute our subnets, our network to some specific individuals or companies, then the PPPoE built-in server can be used for that. So it's like the old days DSL authentication. And obviously, that's why ISPs may find it useful. Layer 3 routing, such as BGP and OSP protocols, are also on board. So the target users are tier 2 and tier 3 ISPs, managed offices, business users. Can actually list a lot of other businesses there as well. Hotels and large offices mentioned here too. But it can be even used in advanced networks that even some big houses may want to use, and it's a future-proof device. So with over 10 gigabit throughput, you can't go wrong with that. Now I mentioned the Vigor ACS, so here are the details. The router itself comes with, again, license-free management features. So you can actually connect Vigor switches, and up to 30 switches can be configured from the interface of the router. So just log into the router, configure the router, but not only that, configure your Vigor switches from the same interface. Nice and easy. Same applies to up to 50 wireless access points. So that's a lot, and you can do a lot of stuff here, not only monitoring, but you can even reboot, upgrade the firmware even, and stuff. If you would rather use a centralized section where you can monitor not only the router switches and access point, but multiple branches, etc., I can recommend our cloud managed Vigor ACS platform, which comes even with more advanced settings, even alarms, scheduled maintenance, and so on. That's a very powerful platform. Please talk to your account manager or visit our website if you haven't used Draytech before, and you can find out more information there. Oh, actually, we have the chat section right now that you guys can use. So please send a question, and our team or myself at the end will try to answer the question for you. So let's focus on the router again. The front panel is it's actually identical to what we have seen so far for the 3910. So you may guess it right, it's backward compatible, the configuration, but at the moment, let's see at the interface. So we've got LED indicators on the left, 2 USB 3 ports for a thermometer or a USB disk. That's useful for the logs. A console port, 2 SFP interfaces, so you can put a SFP module there. Bear in mind, it's vendor unlocked. We haven't locked that, so any SFP module can be used. Most of them should be compatible. Next, number 5, we can see 2.5 gigabit Ethernet interfaces. Again, that can be set to WAN or LAN, so are the SFP ports. So it's a very flexible platform. And on top of that, there are additional 4 1 gigabit Ethernet ports. Again, every single one can be independently set to WAN or LAN. So that's actually a small improvement there as well. And finally, number 7 are the 1 gigabit LAN ports. So they are dedicated LAN ports. Let's open the box. What's inside? So the Vigor 3912 comes with a faster processor and also more RAM. So we've got 8 gigabit DDR4 RAM versus 2 gig on 3910. NAT performance has increased to 12.5 gig. We've got faster SSL, VPN, and WireGuard as well. So the family of our business enterprise routers is here, and on the right-hand side, there is our little 2962 that is also very flexible and powerful. There are switchable ports. The fastest internet 2.5 gig Ethernet port is there, the 2.5 gig. Then a 1 gig SFP option and 1 gig LAN ports as well. The NAT throughput is only 2.2. Our previous flagship, the 3910, could handle over 9 gig, and the 3912 can handle 12 gigabit firewall throughput. So I would like to come back to the web interface because some of you would like to probably see the user experience. It's very easy. I'll actually log into one of our live devices connected right now. Bear with me a second, please. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you can see that's actually port setup section open right now. Every single switchable port allows you to actually individually set the port to the LAN or WAN mode. Then the speed as well actually can be set. It's a very flexible platform that we are planning to build more on. In terms of the WAN, so at the moment you can see 1, 3, 6, and 7 because it corresponds with the ports we have configured, and you can see all the numbers here if each of the interface is actually set to 1. Then the load balancing is here. Some advanced routing and load balancing policies can be applied as well. So let's say we send the traffic through our main internet connection. However, some devices, maybe a guest network, should use a slower internet connection. So we probably would set it to, I don't know, 1.3 or whatever the one is in use. And if that goes down, the failover automatically will switch them back to a working internet connection. So very flexible options available there. Very powerful device. So the firewall settings and filter setup, etc. It's all the same you have seen so far. We got some more power that can be used and across the network, and that's probably the key focus that we should talk about today. Now, I would like to come back to the presentation. Just to do a quick recap, the 3912, again, it's a faster model, comes with better, faster processor, encryption on board, has increased a lot. And here are some key questions you may have, guys. Again, you can type your questions in the chat section. I will read some of the key questions that you may have. So what's the product launch date? It's actually today, 15th of February. How much is the Vigor 3912? So SRP is 779 plus VAT. And is the web demo interface available? So if you actually log into, open our website, draytech.co.uk, and search for the 3912 router, there's a button at the top where you can actually open the demo interface. The data sheet and all the details are also available on our website. Thank you for your attention. And if you have some more questions, please do leave them in the chat section.